Devastating images coming in from Ukraine. The debris from that plane stretching for miles, pieces of the broken jet, and so many of the innocent lives lost. The passports intact found in the field. And here's what we know at this hour. Malaysia Flight 17, 298 people on board, flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur at 33,000 feet when it disappears over Ukraine, 30 miles from the Russian border. And look at the track of the plane on the flight map. You can see the jet simply vanishing from the air. That plane, a Boeing 777, one of the strongest in the world. And tonight, U.S. officials say they believe it was shot down. This evening, we have team coverage across the globe, and we begin here with ABC's chief global affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz.
There in the distance, that burst of flame, the moment that the flight with 150,000 pounds of fuel crashed down. Then the smoke plumes filling the horizon. Those white streaks, debris from the plane littering the sky. As cameras reach the scene in the Ukrainian countryside, utter devastation. Flames in one part of the wreckage, the massive Boeing 777 with its 298 souls on board shattered on the earth. As far as the eye can see, an apocalyptic scene. But the debris was spread across 10 miles, and in other spots, there is no fire. The Malaysian airline colors visible, clothing, passports, a vacationer's travel guide, a sign that these are the parts of the plane blown up in the sky. Flight 17 took off from Amsterdam just after noon local time. Just over 4 hours into the flight to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, cruising at 33,000 feet, it crosses Ukraine, nearing Russia's border. That's when something goes terribly wrong. Tonight, the U.S. says it believes the plane was shot down by a single surface-to-air missile.
Shot down, not an accident. Blown out of the sky.
But it's unclear who fired or whether it was a mistake. The government of Ukraine has been locked in a battle with pro-Russian separatists who want to break parts of the country off to join Russia. Today, Ukraine accused those separatists of shooting the flight down over a rebel-controlled area. Ukraine releasing what they say is an intercepted phone call proving it, saying that in the recordings, militants say they shot down the plane, later saying it was a passenger aircraft. Ukraine's president saying it wasn't an accident or a disaster, but an act of terrorism. The pro-Russian militants deny the charge, suggesting it may have been Ukrainian forces behind the strike. What we do know is that before the crash, Ukrainian forces claimed one of their fighter jets was shot down near the border with Russia, and on Monday, a Ukrainian cargo plane was shot down too, likely by a surface-to-air missile. The airspace above Ukraine today was quickly cleared of commercial flights. This flight tracker image shows flights rerouting around the war zone. The Russian separatists claim they have recovered the black box and will turn it over to Russia. And while that is important that they found the box, there will be all kinds of evidence from satellites and surveillance aircraft that the U.S. and its allies will now be looking at closely. The general theory at this point is that whoever was operating that surface-to-air missile was aiming at a military aircraft and shot down the 777 instead. And David, tonight we are also learning why we haven't heard whether or not there are any Americans on board. There were apparently several names, according to a senior official, that looked American, but they are double-checking and triple-checking. All right, being very careful. Martha Raddatz leading us off. Martha, thank you for your reporting all day long. And just moments ago here, I spoke with a freelance reporter for ABC News, John Wendell, who is right there at the crash site tonight. Here's what he told me he found. John, I know you were among the first reporters there on the scene. It is the middle of the night, but tell us what you saw upon arriving.
Right now, the wind is blowing pretty hard and kicked up some of the fires that had been burning earlier. There's still a number of armed rebels kind of patrolling the area, looking for wreckage, looking for bodies, and also controlling the area.
You described searchers walking through the fields there. It is nighttime. They were using flashlights, and you would see flashes of the devastation. Yeah,
they're walking through these fields, and it's kind of high grass, and occasionally you'll catch part of the fuselage or one of the wheels. I was walking along and somebody's flashlight fell upon some children's playing cards that were kind of scattered. We found part of the tail fuselage here. There is a body next to it. You know, it's a very grim scene that we're seeing here. Right now, I don't think it's very clear what the next steps are.
John Wendell with a description of the scene tonight. John, thank you.